Here's a Fox News alert now. Breaking details about a shooter in the Virginia Tech massacre. Catherine Herridge is live in D.C. with this new information. Catherine, what have you learned?
Yeah, I'm talking to one of my law enforcement sources this morning. They're saying to me that based on the most recent information, they've heard that the locals are having a very hard time identifying in a positive way who the shooter was. They had a tough time, I was told, running the prints, and also that they were having a tough time because there was so much facial disfiguration on the shooter, which is sort of a polite way of saying that when he killed himself, shot himself in the head, and absent ID on the body, this has made the identification difficult. One of the working theories I understand they're looking at right now is that it was a student at Virginia Tech who was from overseas. And two of the countries that they're focusing on right now are China and Korea. But I was told until they had a positive ID on the shooter, it was going to be very difficult to try and investigate what type of visa the shooter may have been here on, because there are kind of two branches here. One would be a tourist visa, which would bring in the State Department, and the second would be a student visa or some sort of legal residency visa, which would bring in citizenship and immigration services, which is part of Homeland Security, as well as immigration and customs enforcement.
All right.
So in a nutshell, what I'm hearing is that they're still having a tough time IDing that shooter, but they are looking at a foreign angle this morning.
Hey, Catherine, that's fascinating information, and it is brand new information. What I'm wondering is, does anyone have a working theory on where this shooter was, if it is the same guy, and most people think it is, between the first shooting in the dorm and the second one in the engineering hall?
People I spoke to this morning were not dealing with the nuts and bolts of the different shootings on the ground. I'd emphasize that I'm talking to people at a federal level, and the lead on this investigation is still at the local level, which is another sign that at this point they do not see any terrorism connection.
Catherine, let me ask you this, because if this was a domestic dispute, the first two shootings, would they not know then who this person is based on that?
Well, this was information I had last night, is that they had not been able to make that connection to that first shooting, nor had they been able to make the connection with these bomb threats over the last several weeks. I'm told this morning the picture is still very confused, but what I know is real information is, at least at the federal level, they're saying they're having a hard time identifying the shooter, and until they can get a positive ID on that shooter, they're really unable to pursue the student visa angle, where he may have come from, but they are looking at China and Korea.
All right, very good. Catherine Herridge standing by in our D.C. bureau. Catherine